Good day, everyone. Today we'll be discussing Chapter 6, which covers the Critical Path Method, or the CPM, and the Program Evaluation Review Technique, or PERT. So after this lesson, you will be able to understand what CPM and PERT are, identify when and how to use them, draw network diagrams correctly, and perform time calculations such as ES, EF, LF, and LS. And also, in this lesson, you will be able to identify the critical path and also apply PERT formulas for time estimation and risk assessment. So first, let's understand what CPM and PERT are. So, what is CPM? CPM stands for Critical Path Method. So, it is a deterministic approach, which means it uses a single time estimate for each activity. This makes it ideal for repetitive or routine projects. So, the network diagram type used in CPM is called the Activity Node, or AON. Next is PERT. PERT, on the other hand, stands for Program Evaluation and Review Techniques. So, it is probabilistic approach. Instead of one-time estimate, it uses three. So, first is the optimistic, second is the pessimistic, and last is most likely. PERT is best suited for uncertain or one-time projects. And the network diagram type used in PERT is Activity on Arrow, or AOA. So, despite their differences, both CPM and PERT shares common goal. This goal is to determine the shortest possible project duration. So, it identifies critical activities and help manage project resources efficiently. So, there are four main stages when applying PERT and CPM in project management. So, first is planning. So, here in planning, you'll be able to define the project scope. Here in planning, you break the work into smaller tasks like imo na anana. So, in planning also identify relationship between those tasks. So, second is scheduling. In scheduling, it creates network diagram. Also, in scheduling, calculate earliest and latest start and finish times. So, in scheduling also, identify the critical path. So, the third one is the resource allocation. So, here in resource allocation is assigning resources like budget, manpower, and equipment. It also considered limitations and constraints. And the last is controlling. So, here in controlling, monitor progress and make adjustments where needed, and in controlling also manage risk throughout the project.
So drawing accurate network diagrams, these are the visual tools used in project management to show the sequence of activities and how they are dependent on each other. There are two important rules when creating them. So in rule number 1, each activity must be represented by one row only. So this row shows the direction of work from starting point to an end point. So no two in rule number 2, no two activities should share both the same starting and ending point. So this avoids confusion in tracking the flow of the task. So now there are common errors we need to avoid. So first is dangling. This happens when an activity has no proper end, meaning it's incomplete. So second is redundancy. Adding unnecessary dami activities that serve no logical purposes, kanaway mga pulos. So, and third is looping. when an activity circles back to a previous one, creating a circular dependency. This is incorrect because a task cannot depend on itself. So, now let's move on to project scheduling terminologies used in network analysis. Activities are represented as IJ, where I is the starting event and J is the ending event. So IE is the earliest time event I can occur. LI is the latest time event I can occur without causing project delay. So DIJ is the duration or length of activity. So ESIJ is the earliest time activity can start, and EFIJ is when it can finish at the earliest. So LSIJ and LFIJ are the latest time it can start and finish without affecting the project timeline. So now we use what's called the forward pass to calculate the earliest time each event can happen. So this is step 1 in building a project schedule. We begin with a start event, usually set a time at 0. Then we follow the steps. So 1, for every activity, set the earliest start time, ESIJ equals to EI. This means the activity can't begin unless its predecessor has finished. So 2, next, calculate the earliest finish time, EFIJ equals ESIJ plus DIJ. That's the time it starts plus how long it takes to finish. So 3, for each ending event J, determine EJ, the earliest time event J can occur. So this is found by taking the maximum EF of all activities ending at J. This ensures we're accounting for the longest time it takes to get there.
Step 3, find start and finish time. So we have two passes. A is forward pass, the ES and EF. Start with ES equals 0 and the EF equals ES plus TE. So the pass and EF to the next activity ES. So let's have an example. So A as ES equals 0, TE equals 2, and EF equals 0 plus 2 equals 2. And the B as ES equals 2 and TE equals 3 and EF equals 2 plus 3 equals 5. And the other path is E, and E is ES equals 0 and TE equals 1 and EF equals 1, and the F is ES equals 1, TE equals 1, and EF equals 2.
So good day everyone. In continuation on Romy Kilab's discussion, so let's break down this project management ideas in a simple way. So imagine you're planning a big event like a fiesta here in Bukidnon. So total flow. Think of it as how much you can delay a specific task without pushing back the entire fiesta date. For example, maybe you can send out invitations a few days later than planned, and it won't affect the actual day of the fiesta. So the formula helps you calculate exactly how many days of wiggle room you have. Free free float. So this is about how much you can delay a task without making the very next task start later. So if decorating the venue has free float, you could start a bit later, and it wouldn't stop the food preparation from starting on time. Then a third is the independent float. So this is the trickier one. So it's about how much you can delay as a task even if the task before it finishes it finishes late, and it still won't delay the task that it comes after. So it's like having a buffer that protects the following task no matter what happens before. So next is finding the critical path. So this part is super important. So it's about finding the sequence of tasks that absolutely must happen on time or your fiesta gets delayed. So the critical event here is there are the key moments in your plan that have zero wiggle room. If they're late, everything else is late. Then second is the critical activities. So there are specific tasks that also have zero wiggle room. So what they call the zero total float. So the if any of these tasks take longer than planned, your fiesta will be pushed back or will be pushed back. For our fiesta, maybe booking the venue is a critical activity. If you delay if you delay that, you can't set a date. Then next is the critical path. So this is the chain of those critical activities from the very first thing you do to the very last thing to get ready for the fiesta. So it's the longer path the longer path in your plan. So and it tells you the earliest possible date of your fiesta can happen. So you need to keep a close eye on it. So next is handling uncertainty. So this is about being realistic because things don't always go exactly as planned. Then optimistic time. So this is the super fast scenario. Everything goes perfectly and the task takes the shortest possible time. Maybe setting up the sound system could be done real quick if all equipment works perfectly. Then pessimistic time. So this is the opposite, everything goes wrong. And the task takes longer possible time. Maybe setting up the sound system take much longer if there are technical issues or power outage. Then third is the most likely time. So this is your best guess for how long the task will actually take under normal circumstances. Then last is expected time. So instead of just picking one of these times, PERT gives you a way to get a more balanced estimate. It uses a formula that gives you important to the most to the most likely, but time also considers the best and worst cases. So this helps you have a more realistic idea of how long things will probably take, considering that things might not always go smoothly. So, by using these ideas, you can plan your fiesta more efficiently, know which task you have some flexibility with, and identify the crucial tasks you need to monitor closely, and have a more realistic timeline by considering potential along the way. It's all about being prepared for everything.
So nata example problem diri sa PERT CPM. To complete a small software development project, the team has laid out the major steps and 6 activities. Naka-indicate diri ang activity A to F, ang iyang optimistic time, most likely time, pessimistic time, and ang iyang predecessor. With the data shown in the table from the previous slide, pwede na din ta mag-start sa step 1 which is ang pag-construct sa iyang PERT diagram. So, start is pwede sa activity A and E since kani sila duha is wala sila yung predecessor and makastart sila anytime. Activity B is makastart right after activity A. Activity C makastart right after activity B. Activity D makastart right after mahuman si activity C. And si activity F makastart right after mahuman whether kinsa sa ilahang activity E and D ang mas taas nga time since ang predecessor sa activity F is si activity E and D. After activity F is finished. Step 2. Calculate expected time for each activity. Use the formula TE is equals to O plus 4M plus P divided by 6. So, sa mga activities, mo ni siya Activity A, ang expected time is 2. Activity B, expected time is 3. Activity C, expected time is 4. Activity D, expected time is 2. Activity E, expected time is 1. And activity F, expected time is 1. TE is equals to O plus 4M plus P divided by 6, where O represents optimistic time, M represents most likely time, and P represents pessimistic time. So, now, isa ka example diri ang activity A. So, expected time is equals to O plus 4M plus P divided by 6. 1 ang optimistic time plus 4, 2 nga most likely time plus 3 nga pessimistic time divided 6. So, 1 plus 8 plus 3 divided by 6 equals to 12 divided 6, and the iyang answer is 2. Just like sa previous slide, ang activity A, yung expected time is 2, and so on and so forth padulong sa activity F.
So the step 3 of forward and backward pass, this table shows that the activity A's estimated time to start is 0, and the estimated time to finish is 2, and the latest time to start is 0, while the latest time to finish is 2, and slack is 0. In activity B, the estimated time to start is 2, while the estimated time to finish is 5. The latest time to start is 2, and the latest time to finish is 5, while the slack is 0. The activity C, the estimated time to start is 5, the activity time to finish is 9, the latest time to start is 5, and the latest time to finish is 9, while the slack is 0. The activity D, the estimated time to start is 9, estimated time to finish is 11, activity time, latest time to start is 9, and the latest time to finish is 11, the slack is 0. While in activity E, the estimated time to start is 0, and the estimated time to finish is 1. Activity time, the latest time to start is 10, and the latest time to finish is 11, and the slack is 10. In activity F, the estimated time to start is 11, the estimated time to finish is 12, the latest time to start is 11, and the latest time to finish is 12, but the slack is 0. So, the step 4 in determining the critical path, we have the start in A, to B, to C, to D, and to F to finish. So, in weighing the pros and cons, the advantages, I will first state the advantages. It shows that dependencies clearly maps how tasks depend on each other, and identifies critical path, pinpoints by tasks that affect project durations. While it shows start times and slack, helps schedule tasks and manage resource. May shorten project time, better planning can reduce overall timeline. So the disadvantages of shows dependencies is too complex to big projects. Large charts can be hard to manage. So lacks clear timeline frame. Basic charts don't always show timeline well. So too much focus on critical path may ignore important non-critical tasks. Depends on estimates, inaccurate assumptions can affect reliability. So that will be all. Thank you.